And here we go. I've drawn them into my trap. Get the tanks into position. See, moving them. There we go. But not too close. Keep them tucked in. So you get the view range, and your units are fighting at the same time. Your rifles and infantry are fighting at the same time as your tanks. And I keep needing to move them forward. Look, bringing in the NCV. Drop that next to them for some more view range. You can see I've got them in the concave. They're doomed.
Battle control initialized.
Hello there, comrades and cannon fodder. It's Dvoid here. I've got a 1v1 multiplayer game. We're on Timian for this one. I'm using Russia and my opponent's using Russia as well. Got a couple of spectators, decent players. I always like it. I don't mind spectators myself. Some players do, but I don't mind at all. And we're on the RAGL 10 version of this map. Now, that might seem strange, and it is strange, to be fair, because there should be newer versions. But I'm not sure which of the Timian maps I've got is newer than this one, apart from the 2022 version that was changed by another player. It wasn't the original creator of Timian. A different player edited it, and I do like that version because the oil derricks are at full health, and these crates, this crate here, which I never, I don't see it. I'm trying to think of the word. I'm not buying it. I prefer what they did with the edited version. I think there's gems there and that. But we've got these units meeting. My opponent has gone for my oil derrick, one closer. But I've got a few rifles in place. Now, if you see that, you need to stop. My opponent's actually pushing it there. I should have attacked. But I've got these rifles and seen that my enemy's got no presence at this oil derrick. But here he has. But I'm still not going to... There you go. I've got the engineer. Caught him out. Now that... my opponent's doing great, but to let me catch him out like that was too easy. Anyone knows your engineer should be going between these two oil derricks at some point. I mean, come on. And I was making sure to protect my engineer, and when I decided to try and go for it, I saw that and thought, blimey. Don't throw those rifles away, get back and get the engineer out of there. Both players got a couple of rifles in place. My opponent's actually left a rifleman there. Now, I have seen some players send an engineer to capture that. Most of the time when I've seen it done, it was with a ranger, to be fair, rather than on foot. But I've seen players take it and capture it and save the engineer and get them out of there as well. So, it's fair enough leaving a rifleman there, I get that. Plus, it will spot if any enemy units are actually hiding at the back here, on moving behind your base, because it's a common tactic for players to hide units in places like this. Even if they don't use them for a while and leave them for the right moment, they could be there. So it's worth having the odd rifleman like that. There's a few places where... placing rifle guards you should be doing, really, like the map edges. I always say as early as possible, at the 2-minute mark at the latest, get some rifle guards in at the map edges. Now, I've moved that veteran rifleman there out of the way a bit and replaced him with this rifleman, so if the enemy kill him, they'll think that's the rifle that shot their engineer and there's no presence there, which that's fair enough, but I've saved the veteran. Now, I've mentioned this to other players, good players, and they said it's not worth the time or the effort to do that, to save that rifleman, the veteran. It's not worth it. Just don't bother. But I manage and take care of my veterans right from the start, and that's usually my first veteran unit, the one that kills the engineer. So I save them and manage them right from the start and try and build up a force of veterans, because when there's a few of them, it will start to make a difference, that bonus in damage and speed and stuff. I've seen veteran units and they move far more quickly than the standard units of the same type. That alone is well worth doing it. And I think a good use for veteran units, there's a Gren drop in there, in that APC, is veterans, especially units like V2s. You want, when you get a target that's worth a lot of credits, it's an expensive target, say you're attacking an enemy construction yard, with a group of units and it's about to be destroyed, don't destroy it with the standard units. Use a veteran V2, for example, to finish it, because they get a bonus in kill bounty. So any pricey, juicy targets, finish them with a veteran unit, and your kill bounty will be better. Now, my opponent saw that, and I heard the machine gun on my APC firing, so he did very well to send a rifleman, because he knows this is about. And I thought, I can't just go for a Gren drop there and hope for the best. It's stupid. It won't work. So I thought, right, well, I've got to save it. And look, he's hunting for it. This player's not daft, and he may be thinking it's a rocket drop, to be fair. He may be hunting the APC, but he's seen it go past. And at the same time, this is early in the game, my opponent's sending a little eco-raid look. And he's set up their expansion, my opponent here, so they know I should have one in place, and I'm about to set one up. But I've got a decent little group of units, and I've stopped my opponent. Now, these terrain pieces, I like them for defensive fighting. Look, I nearly lost the APC. If that was on attack move, it would stop, shoot at them, and it would have died. So you don't always... Look at that. I'm attacking the Conyard. Why my opponent did that and didn't stop it, I'm not sure. But yeah, he's actually attacking. Fair enough. There's my Gren drop. I'm going for a power plant. And the shift command is attacking the service depot, then another power plant. And the APC is in the best position I could while leaving it. And look, my Grenadiers are being chased, but this is probably drawing my attention. I actually saw that. Look, I was trying to move them away. So this is the vital point of the battle now. Look, my opponent's starting to place defences. I've got a couple of tanks and my opponent hasn't. This is why I didn't retreat. Because I thought, well, I've got tanks here, I'll use them. And this Conyard is vulnerable, a juicy target, but don't order all units to attack it, because the enemy will attack you in the meantime, and before it takes too much damage, they can get the Conyard to pack up and retreat, meaning the damage you've done to it is pointless, and the damage you took while you were firing at it is going to cost you. So they can see all my units here. So I've got to destroy that power plant and defend my expansion, because I've only got one ore truck there, but my opponent's got a few units. Now, a tank is the wrong thing. There you go, I've launched an attack here, thinking my opponent might be vulnerable, and he's not. He was well ready for me, so I've retreated immediately. I'm not even attack moving away, they're just moving out of there. Because I'm not throwing units away after a little, that engagement went my way, and I thought, the oil derrick, I'm not going to kill it, there is a rifleman shooting it, so my opponent should think I want rid of it, but I've actually got my engineer on the way, so hopefully my opponent thinks I don't want it. And I knew this is where I'm vulnerable. Let's see, if we've got, where's primary production on the barracks? Right, that's not good. It must be, yeah, it's here, look, and there's my engineer, and I thought my opponent's going to be going for this, like, expansion here, these ore trucks, surely. Now he's moving this way to check it's clear, and I'm capturing there, look, got the oil derrick guarded. So he's checking that's clear, and then going on the eco-raid, yeah. And I thought that's what I thought he was going to do, look, and I'm sending rifles out. I saw that I haven't uncovered enough terrain, so I had to send these rifles out, and they confirmed my suspicions. I knew it. He was going for this. And he's launching a simultaneous assault by the look. No, he's covering that MCV and clearing that area. So he should know I've moved over here. And I've got that held, no problem. Now I'm attacking his oil derrick. I've got 2, and my opponent's got 1, so that's okay, that's going okay. And I defeated that attack, so I'm happy with that. They're getting out of there, and I'm pumping some tanks out, but we're at almost 9 minutes, and I saw this, I thought, I've got to go on this eco-raid here, and my opponent hasn't actually set one up. He's just about to. So that was lovely timing, and I thought, I can't trail after it and lose these units, but I'll send the tank after it. Look at that. And I'm launching an attack at the same time, while my opponent hopefully is freaking out, and his production is here. I'm launching an attack, hoping he's vulnerable. And look, the tank is after it. Now he got away, turned around and came back. So I was like, ha, gutted, you got your hands full or what? It was quite comical to see that. He escaped me, but I fell back, because here... And I was surprised to be fair. but he pursued me a bit. I should have wiped him. When I saw those tanks taking fire, I thought, right, get him away from there. But what I should have done is attack. And there, this force is still active, attacking here, and I was hoping to get a power plant, and the tank is trying to escape. It won't make it. Fair play. That unit's destroyed. Now my opponent's got some units there, and we need to be switching here. 13,000 army value to me, 14 now, 17,000 to my opponent, and I'm having to expand because I know my opponent's spreading out. I've seen that there. Luckily, I got the MCV, so any expansion I do should be, you know, ahead of my opponents. Now I've destroyed their second MCV, their home base probably. But there's an attack here. They've got 2 rocket soldiers, so that is lovely. And they're attacking here. I don't know if I'm aware yet. Just now. I'll be getting the first warnings. Yes, I'm packing up my MCV, look, because I know I can't defend this. These need to escape, that's right. I need to get the MCV back and set up an ambush point, a defense point. Look, I've got my hands full. I've set up an expansion. Got my army here, so yeah, my hands are full trying to defend this, and I thought, I'm not risking that MCV, I'm pulling back. Leave the base defense to see what's following. And there you go, I'm building here, bit of an eco transfer, but there are still enemy units stray going on eco raids, and there's a fight. My opponent's falling back. I could have done with putting that refinery here. And there's my opponent with another, there's a second MCV, so it's the third one they've built, the second one they've built, and the third, including the home base. So there's my main MCV there, trying to spread the build radius for defence, and look at that. I tried to send a force on an eco raid here, and this lot launched an assault at me, and they caught this Conyard, and this is probably about where I saw it. There, it's packing up, ordered to move with the alt move command, but it hasn't got a hope. Ouch, sorry friend. So hopefully can save that. And there's another attack here. So I'm trying to save the ore truck, but I'm launching an eco raid of my own, and it caught the enemy's ore trucks nicely. 21,000 army value to me, 22,000 to my opponent, and I thought, look, there's no units defending here. I'm just gonna like roll over what I can. See what my opponent does, because I was unsure of his reaction. He's got this force to attack and this force for defence, fair enough. Now they're idle. Any moment they're idle is bad. At this point, there goes the power plant. See if they get into low power. There goes the service depot. And units are starting to arrive. 24,000 army value each, and my opponent's got an attack on. And I'm still attacking here, but I saw units arriving, so I'm retreating, look. Hoping to draw as many units as possible away, and look at this force, I'm going to defend that. So I obviously knew it was coming. They've destroyed an ore truck. And here we are, I thought, no, I'm going to receive these units piecemeal and kill as many as I can. I've got a tank and they haven't, look, they've lost it. So that was nice. It turned him back, and then now I'm retreating after some more losses. Now I'm at 25,000 army value, my opponent's at 22. That defensive fighting kept me going, and here you go, I saw I could easily deal with this. Even without tanks I'd win that engagement, because he's in my view range of my structures. So I sent this force away, thinking vehicles can catch up, but they have to. There's 4 ore trucks, but they're only riflemen attacking, and I've forgotten that ore truck there. Here's this force that escaped, they're going back, because I thought my opponent needs all the units he can get. He's losing this, so he's in trouble. And I've got him attacking at the back, so he's had to turn back with these. I should have fled immediately, because these are out of the battle, in a way. There's some more piecemeal killing, look. Killing loads. It was, and I decided to leave it, I think. And my opponent's targeting all trucks by the look of it. These are the fleeing, the last of them, so that was good. 24,000 army value to me, 16,000 to my opponent, going very well. There's a heavy tank, he's going on a little eco raid. These riflemen are here, hunting for ore trucks, and I'm in trouble. I've actually sent these on long distance mining because I've lost my second MCV. These are having to mine here. But I've launched an eco raid in the perfect place. My opponent's not defending it. And I thought they weren't. You know, I didn't think they would be, I should say. Caught them nicely there. And one thing I was thinking about was the power supply. Hoping to interrupt that. But they've done well each time I've checked, they've maintained it. Let's see. There's another barracks gone. Let's see if they're in low power yet. If I get rid of that... No, they're still not. They're building power plants, look. Very nice. These should be going on an eco raid. There's a few units here to deal with them. They shouldn't have even bothered. But these guys are retreating. I saw a decent force from my opponent. Now, they've got one tank. So I shouldn't have retreated. But I didn't want to lose units pointlessly. I wanted to be sure. So I'm falling back with these, and I should have fallen back in this direction. That's a mistake. And I'm bringing these and my second MCV that I've just built. I'm going to set up an expansion, hopefully get these away from this group of enemy units, and group together with this force, so I can deal with these guys. Because I couldn't see exactly how many. It looked like a decent amount following me and that, so... I wanted to be sure. If I'd have known how few tanks they had, I would have committed units elsewhere. But I've drawn them to the edge there. What's my opponent up to? Trying to rebuild a force here. And they've got no tanks producing because I've destroyed their service depot. And here we go. I've drawn them into my trap. Get the tanks into position. See, moving them. There we go. But not too close. Keep them tucked in. So you get the view range, and your units are fighting at the same time. Your rifles and infantry are fighting at the same time as your tanks. And I keep needing to move them forward. Look, bringing in the MCV. Drop that next to them for some more view range. You can see I've got them in the concave. They're doomed. I've cleared that up. Lovely. Now my opponent's got their forces here. They're still not building vehicles. So we're at 15,000 army value to me, 10,000 to my opponent. And a few units escaped up here. I should have sent, you know, 10 men to kill them. And now I thought I'm going to press my attack and bring everything I can. These guys are idle. I was hoping to attack here. Here we go, look. I'm up against defences and a lot of troops and buildings for view range, so I should have targeted that, and I should have V2s because it would finish it now. But look, I brought a tank in and it's sort of pushed my opponent back, but I thought, hang on a minute. What's going on here? I'm at 7,000, my opponent's at 8 now. That's not great. And I thought, well, that's not good. I expected that to be the killing blow. My opponent's got a tank there. It's nearly finished. But yeah, it's switched again, and my opponent's got a service depot. Let's see if they're producing tanks. Yep. And there you go. There's another ore truck about to be lost. There you go, the last shot. Damn, that's a shame. And this ore truck's been idle all that time. And there you go, there's my second MCV moving. But I'm retreating here, and I thought these guys can't go there because there's base defences. So I don't know what I was thinking there. And as you can see, I'm falling back with that force. My opponent's exploring. And I'm at 7,000 army value, my opponent's at 13, and they've chased me off this expansion, and it's because of the cash situation. Meaning I have none. But I need to redistribute my ore trucks to places like here, here, and here, and defend them, and then attack again. But I should, if I'd only had V2s there, I would have finished that. They had no vehicles, you know, I had them. Maybe I just attacked in the wrong place. I didn't think there'd be, you know, a lot of resistance there. And that ore trucks had to turn around and escape when I did finally find it again. And I thought I should be able to win that engagement. I can only see a tank, but my opponent does have defences in that now. I'm bringing up other units, and I've got a radar dome now, but there's an attack, and look, the construction yard's in trouble. Am I going to lose it during the battle? Yes, that's a shame. And we're down to one oil derrick each now. And look, my ore trucks are right near this force, and there's a group of enemy units waiting in case I expand. I had to fall back. There's no tanks. One has left the war factory. So if we check army value now, I'm at 8,000, my opponent's at 14. And I'm losing ore trucks as we speak. I've had to send these around here, but they're already on their way to an eco raid as it is. They're heading for an eco raid. The enemy doesn't have to bother, I'm going to them. But look, I've dealt with that little force, but still saved some units for if I want to mine there again. And I thought this force is going to have to go up here. And there's a thief. Because now I know I'm in big trouble, all of a sudden, I'm going to have to think of something. So let's look at the economy, and yeah, I'm struggling for cash, but that's what all I could think of was a thief, and I was hoping my opponent had loads of cash, because that's what killed me, no money. And one of my thieves was produced there. That's a real shame, because it's a waste. And look, they've cut through what few units I had in place. Now that the tank was out of position. In fact, there's a rifleman survived, but I'm going here and sending, hopefully trying to send my tanks first, but I'm trying to distract the enemy base defences while the thief moves in, because I'm down to 1 credit. Look, those ore trucks were destroyed that made their way all over that way, and I've got the infiltration just there, and now we're down to a grand each. My opponent's moving away with their MCV, but I've destroyed this expansion. I'll be finishing that off, but I think I was considering more thieves and where to make my stand, basically. But I'm down to 0 cash, so I can't produce expensive 500 credit thieves and stuff, and when I saw that go down, I thought, oh dear, I'm at 1, and look at that, was an accidental sell on my conyard, which was demoralising. I sold my conyard. There you go. Oh dear, I said. That was demoralising, but it was already over by then. I've got to be honest, yeah, I've got this small group of units, but it was over. Look at this. They've got my expansion, they've got my home base. This is the only place I've got left to resist, and I'm out of position. But it did kind of, like, demoralise me, plain and simple. That's the right word. So I'm still fighting, but because I don't believe in just quitting and giving up before it's over, but yeah, I was a little deflated, and you can see my opponent isn't even finishing the job. He knows I'm done. So there are no tricks left. I've got a few units, and at the end of a battle like that, you'd like to win them, and I could have done. All I needed was a couple of V2s during that attack at the end, but, you know, now I've got cash I can't spend. 1 ore truck. My opponent's got 9. And here we go, yeah, that's my last ore truck, I'm assuming. So there you go, the last clean-up operation, and there's my last units, not including these guys here. I'm producing still. But there you go, I'm down to 1,800 army value. My opponent's got a 24,000 army value, and they've expanded back to this corner. So there you go. That's the result of this kind of banger of a battle. Thoroughly enjoyable, very fun game, but a shame not to win. Defeated. But, you know, fair play to my opponent for them to survive what I did and resist in that engagement there, you know. Fair play. Fair play. It was a good game. The most important thing is that my viewers are entertained and that we have fun, and that certainly was. But there's the army graph, look. My opponent dips down there and then goes up, but they do overtake me here, and then there's a steep increase. It's hard to see their graph, obviously, but it's a dark blue, about even until this point here, where they drop to this level, but we're about even here during fighting, but my opponent overtakes from this point up to there. So, yeah, there's your army graph, and there's the earnings graph. I was doing okay, and then my opponent was. See my earnings dropping off as I was struggling on. My opponent's finishing army is a decent group. It's basic, but a decent group, like 9 heavy tanks and, you know, over 100 infantry. That's sound. And they have a 24,000 army value. I lost 24 structures. My opponent lost 26 structures. I killed 473 units. My opponent killed 450. I destroyed 106,000 credits worth of my opponent's assets, and my opponent destroyed 127,000 credits worth of my assets. Support powers aren't in effect. I did have a radar dome, but as you know, I went for thieves. I should have built the radar dome earlier and had V2s. My opponent's still producing the basics. And economy, they've got 9 ore trucks and hung on to the oil derrick here. Iron 134,000. My opponent earned 159,000. Very nice. And the basics, I was at 29 actions per minute. My opponent was at 53 actions per minute, so they were giving it some orders. There's the score for you. 1,107 to me. 1,251 to my opponent. That's a game. Well played, well played. I hope the spectators enjoyed it as well, and I hope my viewers enjoyed it. If you like this game, give us a sub and a like, and thank you for watching. So take good care of yourselves, and until next time, goodbye.
Battle control terminated.